Well, first and foremost, this game was everything that we anticipated and even more. And we knew VCU was really good on film, but they were even better in person. Their aggressiveness, their athleticism, the toughness that they played with, we knew we were going to have to match that and then some. And our guys did. I mean, I'm sure it was a great basketball game for people to watch from the stands. And it was really a great game for me as well, because I got to see this game the last 6-7 minutes through our players' eyes. And they were so locked in and had such great resolve to never panic and to just truly believe that they were going to win. And then the magic words were always about the defense. And they just kept talking about defense and defense and defense. And I think it showed up in the way that we finished the game with the stops that we had, the percentage of stops that we had in the last 6-7 minutes. And these guys did a fantastic job. I mean, everybody that played was playing with great intensity, and both sides. Great intensity, great energy, great toughness. And our guys, we knew we were playing against a team that really cared about one another, and I think they'll see that they were playing against a team in our group that really cares about one another. And when you've got that kind of togetherness, a lot of amazing things can happen. And that's what our year's been like, and that's what this game has been like.
We'll take questions now for the student athletes.
This is for Cody. I'm David Moore with USA Today. You were very quiet offensively in the second half until at the end, and you made a series of plays. What changed?
Yeah, I mean, I was struggling in the second half there for a while, but you know, really, I just tried to get some rebounds, try to make a difference in other ways, and I think that kind of got me going. So I was ready when my number was called later in the game.
Kravitz with the Indianapolis Star. On that final shot, was there any part of you thinking, I need to pull this thing out and play for the final shot, or was the idea to go in and get the first open look and just let it go?
Well, Vic made a great play driving to the rim, and at that time, I thought the momentum was on our side. We, had made a little comeback there, and I'm comfortable shooting at that range, and it was pretty open, so I decided to take it.
For Christian, can you talk about now getting to the Sweet 16 with Indiana? Does this feel like kind of another step in helping get this program back among the elite?
Oh yeah, I mean it's been a constant grind for us, ever since the end of last year, and we've been working hard, and we did a great job with the adversity, and it feels great to be in this position.
Will Ken Bykoff, Inside Indiana. You guys have played a lot of different styles this year. In this game, it seemed that you played different styles within the same game. How did the experience of playing all those different styles earlier help you guys down the stretch?
Well, we have a great coaching staff who gets us prepared for every game. So really inside the game, it's a player's role to pretty much just see what's going on and try to figure it out. So I think our players did a great job. Our guards today, Remy came in there and really made some plays for us and, really set the pace of the game. So it was really guys coming in, just making big plays, and that's what changed the game.
Will, you guys are down 9 with about half the rest of the half left to play. What changed? What brought you guys back, and how were you able to overcome that adversity and get back into the game?
Well, I think it's our experience. We've been there before. This almost the same situation in numerous games early in the season. And Christian told Jordan, even though he was struggling for a little bit, just to keep playing. And I think that really just was our motto for the whole time, was just to come out and just keep playing. And even though we get down a little stretch, we were going to make a run, and we did that tonight.
Chris Anderson, Portland Tribune. Christian, can you take us through the final minute there of the half with your 2 threes and the free throws to cut the 9-point deficit down to 1?
Oh, well, I knew we needed a bucket, and, I just stepped up and, concentrated and made the shot. And, the very next 3, we got in transition, and Victor did a great job at finding me, and I just knocked it down. And, I got 2 free throws after that, so at that point, I was going.
Kevin Bowen, Indiana Daily Student. Christian, in the last 12 minutes, you guys only allowed 2 field goals. Defense has been your guys' motto all season long. What was in those last 12 minutes to let you guys bear down and make those stops?
Oh, it was our mindset. We knew what we had to do in order to win the game, and we went out and executed that, and it went from there.
Will, Connor O'Gara, Indiana Daily student. You know, you had a look on your face that kind of said it all after you hit that shot. Can you just take me through the emotions of what's going through your mind after you made that?
Well, I knew there was 12 seconds left afterwards or whatnot, so we decided to get a stop on D. But I think that was just the confidence that our whole team's been going through this whole season, and you know, it might be me one night, and obviously Christian's hit big shots this year. So really, I just felt that our team was really just making a push, and that was pretty much icing on the cake.
Will, can you talk about, just for this program, getting back to the Sweet 16, hadn't been in the tournament for 3 years, not only in the tournament but now in the Sweet 16, feel like this is kind of a big step to bringing Indiana back into kind of the national picture?
100%. I know everyone watches March Madness and whatnot, and you know, we might do it for the fans, but really it's for our guys in this program. And we have seniors on our squad, Verdell, who can't play with us, but you know, we play for those guys, and they've been through it all. So.
Cody, you guys have played Kentucky, who looks like they're going to win this game. Okay. All right.
Any further questions? Thanks, guys. You're excused. We'll take questions now for Coach Crean.
Bob Kravitz, Indianapolis Star. Did you ever think you could turn the ball over 22 times for 23 points and win a basketball game? And what does that say about your group that you were able to win this game?
Well, you make a decision against pressure. You're either going to break it or you're going to attack it. And when you're going to attack it, you're going to have some mistakes. And more of our mistakes, a few happened in the backcourt, but more happened in the front court. We wanted to play a downhill game. And that's one reason that never called timeout when Victor had the ball. We were going to call timeout if they scored, and I told all the referees that, but we wanted to play a downhill game. And so every time that we got away from that, or we played sideways, or we didn't come meet the ball, that's where our turnovers came. But I was very comfortable with them attacking the press and making decisions, knowing that there'd be a few times that you just got to live with it inside of the game. But I think it was one of the reasons our attack was one of the reasons we shot 67% in the first half. But it's not the optimum way to win a game, obviously. But I think the job, we kept talking the last 2 days about, first and foremost, well, okay, they can't press if they can't score. So we have to have as good a defense as we have had all year. And when you look at the way we closed the game, when you look at the 25% shooting from the field and from the three, those were the things that really stand out for the reasons that we won the game, I believe.
Tom, final minute, you spoke about seeing the game through your players' eyes. Was there a certain level of trust, or did you see this, was this a certain kind of different experience going through this final minute, given the situation and what you guys have gone through, or was there a level of comfort there, knowing what you guys had done earlier this season?
I think it's the experiences. I think you know, pressure really comes down to if you focus on it and you focus on the result, and you get away from the step-by-step, and we were still in a step-by-step process there. I mean, it was 6 with 5.5 minutes to go. There was no panic. And then you can reference a game like NC State when it was 7 with 7.5 minutes to go. And those things register to those guys. But, you know, our talk is just that. And then it's them. It's what they believe they're going to do. And the way that they talked to one another in the huddles, and the resolve that they had. And they're so locked in. We put a play in that I'd been holding on to. I hadn't even gone through it and walked through with them, but it was an isolation at the elbow. And Christian kept saying, hey, we got to run this. We got to run this, because we tried to run it earlier in the game and we couldn't get to it. Well, it's an isolation for Cody. And it was one of the best things we did at the end of the game, because we got to the basket and we got fouled. And that's when you're putting things in like that for them, and if they're nervous at all, somebody's not going to be in the right place. They were always in the right place. So their locked-in mindset gave us great confidence, but most importantly, it gave each of them the confidence. Because once we break that huddle, obviously, they're on their own.
Coach, basically the same question that I asked to Will, the different styles that you played within this game, how did that, how did you guys deal with that?
Well, again, they're quicker and more athletic. Film, and I hadn't seen them play in person, so film does not do justice to how good they are. I mean, they really, really are good. They're extremely well coached. He's a great coach. I mean, and there's no doubt about that. Obviously got a very good coaching staff, but they play hard, and they play it the right way, and they're aggressive and tough. So we just had to keep adjusting, and I think they probably did too. We switched defenses a lot. We went to different things. We played some personnel. We played some different things when they substituted. You know, we never really felt like we could fatigue them, all right, to get it in our favor, but we had to do some things that might make them adjust a little bit. And so that was really our mindset throughout the game, and our guys continued to do a pretty good job of taking what the defense was giving them. A couple times we didn't, but for the most part we did.
Coach, can you just talk about getting to the Sweet 16? Does it feel like kind of a significant moment in kind of your 4 years of getting this program going back onto the national scene, and now you're back in there with the 16?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no question about it. And as I said to them again, you know, the way God has brought us all together and touched everybody's life, everybody's better for what they've had to deal with. I mean, the seniors, and it doesn't feel like that at the time when you're going through all of this, but we're all going to be better off for it. And to have them have this happen for them because of the way they've earned it, the way they've continued to get better. And I know coaches it can sound really corny when you start talking about believing in one another. When I sit and look at these guys, and I'm looking across from them in that huddle, I mean, it's a great feeling. I mean, it's hard to describe, you know, but it's a great feeling to be around young men like this that they do really want to see each other be successful. They know they're a team. So they've earned their way in. And did we have days where we wondered if we would get to this point? I would look back at this and say that there were a lot of disappointments, but nobody in our program that's with us to this point ever got discouraged. And there's a huge difference between disappointment and discouragement. And sometimes they can look alike, but disappointments are inevitable. They happen. And discouragement we just never got there. And our guys really, when they talk about the offseason, they know what they put into it. You know, all college basketball teams work really hard, but these guys have had to come from a long way, and I'm proud of them.
Kevin Bowen, Indiana Daily student. Coach, 2 made field goals for VCU in the last 12 minutes and change. When you guys were down 9, did you know defense is what was going to get you back in this game?
Well, you don't know, but you hope. I mean, we can guard, and we even the guys were so locked in to how we were defending, and we did it even at the end of the game. I mean, we went into a 55, which is all switching. Would we have done that with Cody in the game a month ago? Probably not. But just say, hey, you know what? You're a great basketball player. Go out there and be a great athlete. And he was. And so when you've got comfort with one another, and again, they're looking at Cody, and we haven't done a lot of switching with Cody, and they know Cody's in the game, and they're saying 55. There's a belief, and that when you're switching something, what you're saying is you're trusting your teammate to help take care of it. It's not just because what happens sometimes in defense, especially end-of-game situations, is you don't want to make a mistake. So you get hugged up on your man. You maybe don't call out a screen. You want to do your job. Well, when you're switching and you're playing zone, it's a team job. And our guys really understood that, and I thought our team defense was tremendous for most of the second half and especially at the end.
Coach, you said that you started seeing the game through your players' eyes. Can you elaborate on what that means and when it started? I don't know if it's seeing the game. I think you see the results of we're coaches, and everybody around them, you know, we've got a plan, and we do that, and we work at it. But if they're not locked in, the buy-in is nobody gets to this level into this tournament without a great buy-in. Okay, this is what it takes. But being locked in, that's what it's all about when you look at them, and they're out there doing what they've been taught. But more importantly than that, they're doing it with just a resolve and a toughness and a will that's just incredible. And to me, as a coach, when you see that, you know, the greatest thing for me in the past used to be to go on the road as a coach, be in that locker room, in that visitor's locker room, and you'd see your team before, and you just felt great about the way they were ready to go. And I think it's transformed. And when you're in a timeout, when you're in a huddle, when they're looking back at you and they're talking to one another and they're talking through that game, and it's a tough, hard-nosed game, there's no feeling like that.
In the back, then front.
Considering the defense your team played down the stretch, what's going through your mind on that final possession and on that final shot?
Well, trust the defense. Trust the defense. It's a 2-point game, and we'd made the decision we were switching everything, and we were going to live with it. And If we got beat on a play, well, we were going to hope we still had enough time to come down and score. We spent a lot of time on late game situations. The smartest thing I did the entire night was not call timeout on the miss and let Victor run with it. Because, again, we had a downhill move. I mean, he was coming with the ball, and he had done some great things tonight, and you guys got to see how special of an athlete he is at getting to the rim. And it didn't go, but Will was right there, and he knocked it down. So great confidence in our players. And as a coach, that's a transformation. You know, when you feel like you don't have to make that call. And again, some of it was respect for the VCU defense and not wanting to have to inbound it and get it up court against them, because he's got a lot of defenses in his bag too that he can go to. So it worked out very well. I mean, we got a great shot.
Coach, beyond the result, what are you most proud of with this team?
Oh, I don't know. We're not done. So I'll have the reflection of that when it's all said and done. But I would say this: they just continue to improve, mentally and physically. And when you start to quantify inside your own program mental and physical toughness, they're really moving forward. So I guess in answer to your question, I would say that how they continue to understand that getting better is the only way to really keep moving on, and they're doing that.
We'll go down here, and then we'll have time for about one more question.
Justin Burr here for Oregon Campus Radio. Coach, you guys had 22 turnovers. Do you attribute that to just sloppy play on your part or stellar defense on the part of the Rams?
I attribute it to a great basketball game, and we were on the attack. And I'm not going to call it sloppy play. We had some mistakes, but they had a lot to do with that. They're an excellent team.
Coach, in some ways, when you look at what VCU was able to do last year, what they did in the opening round, they sort of, in some ways, seemed almost like a team of destiny. I mean, did you feel that at all, and what were you able to do to stop that in its tracks?
What I witnessed was a really, really aggressive, athletic, tough basketball team that was well coached. So those kind of thoughts, they don't really go through your head when you're trying to help your team attack the pressure.
Back there.
Mike Ecker, Gary Post. Can you talk about Christian Watford at the end of the first half? How important
Tremendous.
it was to get him
That was we needed momentum, and Christian did a great job. We'd had the intentional foul call. We weren't playing very well. We weren't attacking the press. We made a couple of mistakes, and I was upset. And Christian he brought momentum back to Indiana, and again we were playing time and score with him a little bit after he got the second foul. I'm not against putting a guy in with 2 fouls, but really you're trying to figure out how the game is being called, and we certainly didn't want to start the second half with him with 3 or with Jordan with 3. But the bottom line is he made big shots. He has worked so hard to be a great player. He has worked so hard on his shooting and his ball handling and his defense. And, I mean, he guarded the point guard most of the second half. I mean, this guy is going to be a fantastic player, you know, long after he's gone from us. I mean, he has got versatility right now. He epitomizes what we're trying to do in building our program. Versatile, multidimensional, two-way players. And he's really becoming that.
We'll go to Steve here, and then one more after that.
Thank you. Steve Andrus, WDRB TV. Coach, John Calipari said a couple weeks ago he thanked ESPN for showing the Watford buzzer beater over and over again and angering his players. What is it like watching that for the other team over and over?
It goes in every time. Every time. It never changes. And you know what? He tweeted, I tweeted something back. The value that brings our university, brings our fan base, to have that out there, it's fantastic. But it goes in every time, you know, and there's still a hand up in front of him. There's still a great pass from Verdell. There's still a great screen from Cody Zeller. Every time it goes in.
Last one down here.
Coach Dustin DePierre, Bloomington Herald-Times. I'm not sure if you've been asked this yet or not, but some of the guys mentioned in the locker room, I guess, that during one of the timeouts, you brought up the NC State game. I
did, yeah.
When did you do that, basically?
6.
What do you think that did for them?
Score was 6. We're down 6. I remember it was like 5:07, something like that. And it was just, I mean, we've been there. You know, it was 7.5, and we were down 7, and now it was 6 or 5. I'm not exactly sure what it was at that point. But we'd been in that situation. And again, sometimes that's really what teaching is and leadership is a lot of times. It's just reminders. I mean, they need to be reminded that they're good. I mean, we did put a new play in, and Cody scored on it. We put it in out of a timeout. I mean, so they're locked in mentally. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes you just need to have reminders that come together in a short-term situation like that, that you have been in these situations before. And we started talking at the beginning of the year, one game in a row, every time we get it. Now we've got it 27 times. So you play those games for a reason. They come back to help you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.